So ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue from where we ended. So I'm sure now you are able to see what's on the screen, and you're also able to listen to my voice. So we have been given this question, and for this question, the first thing that you are supposed to do is to identify the topic. So this is partial fraction, this is partial fractions, and then the other one, it's simply calculus, which is integration. So these are the two topics which were brought for question 4C. So this is question 4C in case of those people who want to check out this paper, which was Math 1120. So let me quickly start by solving the first one. So the first one is we have been given 1 over x minus 1 squared and then x plus 1, and we have been told to express this as a single fraction. So you should check up my YouTube class on partial fractions. So this type of partial fraction is falling under partial fractions with a repeated unit. So you have a repeated unit, which is this one. So don't tamper with expanding it, but there is a formula which you need to use, and this is the formula. So you're going to say a over, you're going to get what is inside there, which is x minus 1 cross bracket, then you say plus b over, you are going to say everything there. This is the repeated unit, guys. So you are going to say x minus 1 squared, and then you say plus c over the one which has not been repeated, which is x plus 1. So I hope you guys have followed what I have easily done with that particular part. So after I do that, my next objective is just for me to work out what is there. It's just for me to work out what is there, to make sure that what is on the right hand side is the same thing which is on the left hand side. So what I'm going to say 1 over, so I'll say x minus 1 squared and then x plus 1, and this should be equal to common denominator. You know, this is common denominator is this one and that one, so it's going to be x minus 1 squared and then x plus 1, like that. So that's the common denominator. Then after you do that, your next objective or your next target is to simply say this into that, this guy into what is on the denominator there. Okay, so what you are going to have is what I'm about to write. So this will give you something like a open bracket x minus 1 and then open bracket x plus 1. Okay, and then you're going to say plus b, then open bracket this thing into that, it's that, so x plus 1 will be there. Then after you do that, you're going to go to c. What is c giving you? The denominator of c, when it enters there, it's going to be plus c plus c open bracket x minus 1 squared. So this is what you simply have. Now if you look at what is on top and what is down, what is down is the same, but what is on top is what is different. What is on top is what is different as compared to what is down. So you can easily just get what is on top, which is 1 is equal to a, and then open bracket x minus 1, open bracket x minus 1, and then close bracket you say x plus 1, open bracket, then you say plus b, and then x plus 1, close bracket, plus c, and then open bracket x minus 1, close bracket, squared. So that is what is on top. That is what is on top. Now your next job is to just think a little bit and find a way you can find the value of, let's say, b without tampering with others, or how you can find the value of a when you exclude everything. So if you observe very well at this particular point, you also have to understand something here. Whatever you're going to do, make sure that everything be equal to what? Be equal to that one. So what I'm just trying to say is the left hand side should be equal to the right hand side. The left hand side should be equal to the right hand side. So it's a little bit tricky to do this working. It's a little bit tricky to do this working in such a way that you might need to come up with certain equations, and these equations, they'll help you to understand or analyze and analyze these simple questions or methods. So with what we have, which is here, this guy there, and also that guy there. So what we can do, we can say if we were to put a 1 there, okay, let's say taking x is equal to 1. So let's say taking x is equal to, let's say we have a 1 there. So if x is equal to 1, so if I put a 1 here, if I put a 1 there, that means that this will be a 0, and everything will be a 0, and that one will be 0. So what I'm going to have is simply something like 1 is equal to b, and then 2 plus 1, right? That's what I'm going to have for b. So if you look at that, you're going to take note that, so this is supposed to be 1. So if you look at that, this will be 1 plus 1 is equal to 2b. 1 is equal to 2b. Okay, so let me just rewrite this and put it on the other side of the board so that most of you people will be able to get it. So I'll demarcate my table, my board like that. So like I was saying that we need to think a bit. Now our thinking should be in a way whereby we are able to get rid of these same numbers. We are able to get rid of these same letters. So if I was to say taking x to be equal to 1, okay, to be equal to 1 so that I can get rid of a there. I'm going to have 1 is equal to, so this will be a, okay, and then 1 minus 1 is 0, right? So 0 times everything, it will surely give you a what? A 0. And then b will remain, because b there is a 2 there, so for that b it will simply be b open bracket 1 plus 1, and then this will be 1 is equal to 2b. 1 is equal to 2b. So after you do that, it's very easy for you to move on by just simply dividing throughout by a 2, throughout by a 2, and then the b will simply be equal to 1 over 2. So this is your first answer for b. Now we have a b which is 1 over 2. We also have a what? We also need to have a way we can get rid of one of these guys. Okay, so this one we have the way we have had this one is by finding a way we can make C0 and A0. So what if we find a way we can make B0 and A0, of which by just taking -1? So in such a case, what you are just simply going to say is, you are going to say taking x is equal to -1, because if I put x is equal to -1, b will be 0 and a will be 0, isn't it? Because there it will be -1, so a will be 0. So I'm going to have 1 is equal to, this will be 0 and that will be 0, so c, and then open bracket -1 minus 1 and then squared. So inside it will be 1 is equal to c, and then there it will be -2, and then you have squared. So from there, this will give you 1 is equal to 4c. So over 4 over 4. So that one and that one will go. Therefore, c is simply equal to 1 over 4. So that's the final answer. So if you check the solutions, if you check the solutions for one of the documents I saw, you find that the method which was there, it is a very complex method which most of you cannot even understand it. So this is the easiest method and it has low chances of making mistakes. So if you have such, your next point is now for you to find the values of what? Of a. Now for you to find the value of a, you need to understand that if you use -1, a is going. If you use 1, a is still what? A is still going. So this is where now your next thought should come in. So I'll write solution. So we have 1 is equal to, you have a open brackets x minus 1 and x plus 1, and then you have plus b, and then b you are having should be x plus 1, you're having x plus 1, and then plus c, you're having x minus 1 squared. So one thing that we have found is that b is equal to 1 over 2 and c is equal to 1 over 4. So our duty there is just to replace these values where there is b and c. So you're going to get 1 is equal to a open bracket x minus 1 and then x plus c 1, and then you are going to put, where there is b, you are going to put 1 over 2, and then open bracket x plus 1, and then you have plus 1 over 4, then x minus 1 squared. From that, what you are going to do is you pick any number in the universe. You get any number in the universe, and that number should not get rid of a. That number should not get rid of a. So you get any number. You can get 100, you can get 1 billion, you can get 50, you can get any number. But me, I'm going to get a simple number, which is x is equal to 0. So this will give me a, open bracket, 0 minus 1, and then there it will be 0 plus 1, and then plus half, then 0 plus 1, and then plus 1 over 4, and then I have 0 minus 1, like that, squared. So when I work out everything here, 1 will be equal to negative 1 times 1, it's going to be negative, so this will be negative a, and then this will simply be half, okay, and then that one will simply be equal to 1 over 4, like that. So from there, I simply have negative a is equal to, these guys will go to the other side, so it's going to be 1 minus half, 1 minus half, minus 1 over 4. After I do that, I can say negative a is simply equal to, common denominator, it is 4, so 1, that's 4, so this will be 4 minus 2 minus 1, and negative a will simply be equal to negative 1 over 4. So you multiply by a negative 1, you multiply by a negative 1, and this will simply give you what? A is equal to 1 over 4. Easy way of doing things. So there are so many methods you can use to solve this, but you have to just find a method which is easy. And trust me, this is the easiest method you can find. So if A is equal to that, B is equal to that, so that simply means that our partial fraction will simply be equal to where there is A in that particular function we had. Where is it? Where is that function? Okay, so this was our function here. Where was it? It's here. Okay, so we're going to pick this one. So this simply means that where there is a, you're going to put 1 over 4, and then you say over x minus 1, okay, and then you say again plus b, okay. B was 1 over 2, so where there is b, you're going to put 1 over 2 on top there. You're going to put 1 over 2, and then you have x minus 1 squared, and then the last one is plus 1 over 4, which is c, and d over what? X plus 1. So that's what you have there. So from what you have, you can easily work out those guys. So let me just erase and be able to move on. So from what we have, you can easily use the rules of multiplication, the rules of dividing and other stuffs, but basically for some you might leave it here. That's the reason why I would love to leave it like that, but to make it look more nice and looking perfect, that expression can be written in the form whereby I say 1 over 4 and then x minus 1 when you work out your summations, and then you say plus that one will be 1 over 2 open bracket x minus 1 squared, and then you are also going to have plus 1 over 4 then xc plus c 1. So these are the partial fractions which you were asked to find. So just as easy as that, nothing much and nothing less. So that's how you can easily work out such a question. Do you have questions so far? All right, okay, so if we don't have questions, yes, what's your question? The person who has lifted their hand, what's your question? Okay, if we don't have questions, we are going to move on. And for those who are going to have questions, please feel free to ask me after the class. But since there are people with questions, you're free to ask.
Dog, I didn't understand the first 3 steps of the solution, sir.
The first 3 steps? Yes, what's your question?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send the video and then you are going to watch the same thing. But I'll give more examples on this one. I'll teach, yeah, I'm going to teach partial fractions alone. Okay, the next thing is for me to do my last part, which is finding the derivative of that guy, So this is how I'm going to write, but I've emphasized if you want you can leave your answer there, but if you want you can go up to there. Either ways you are correct and okay. Okay, so let me look at solution for this one. So here you have the integration of that, and then you have x minus 1 squared and x plus 1 dx. So for this one you can't do it directly. That's the reason why they gave you that question. So what you're going to do is you're going to write the partial fractions you found. So the partial fractions that you found are going to give you something like that, and then this will be, the first one was a, so for a it was 1 over 4. For a it was 1 over 4, so we are going to put 1 over 4, and then down there, actually if you check the solution which was sent for this paper, the solution was wrong. The solutions which were sent for this paper, it was totally wrong. So you should make corrections in case of those who are just studying the same document. So the document which was sent was wrong for that here. Plus, so you're also going to say for b it was 1 over 2, and then down there it has to be x minus 1 squared, and then the other part it will be dx, and then to be plus, you're going to have the integral of the third part which we found, which was 1 over 4. The c was 1 over 4, and then that one, which was x plus 1 dx. So if we have that, we can easily work out by simply making the constants this side. So that 1 over 4 will go this side, and then integration 1 over x minus 1 dx. Then you say plus, you're going to say 1 over 2, which is the constant, integration 1 over x minus 1 squared, and then dx, and then we are going to say plus, you're going to find 1 over 4, and their integration 1 over x plus 1 dx. So when you reach here, there is a rule and a formula which you need to understand. So one thing you need to understand is if y is equal to in x, then dy dx is simply equal to 1 over x. So if you remember very well, that's the formula which is there for dy dx. So what you're going to do, basically, you are now integrating. Since we are integrating, that simply means that we are going to go that way. So we are going backwards. So for those two, for that one, we only have two parts which are applying that rule. We only have two parts which are applying this rule. So let me quickly put those guys. So the first one is the first one here. So this one will be 1 over 4. Let me write it this side, 1 over 4, and then you're going to say in, you're going to write the one which is down there, x minus 1. This one I'm not going to work on it in the meantime because it's having other principles to use. So it's going to be the integral like that, and then 1 over x minus 1, and then squared, and then dx plus this one. I can work it out the same way I worked on that, which is 1 over 4 in x plus 1. Okay, so that one, that's what it is having there. So after you reach that stage, you are not going to go forward without working out this guy here. So this guy, you need to work it out separately. So for this guy, for you to work it separately, you are going to introduce a new method, which is the substitution method. So for the one which is done, for you to integrate it, you need to use the substitution method. So you can treat it in any way you want. So I'll just get it alone the way it is, which is 1 over open bracket x minus 1, and then I have a squared dx. So using substitution method, I can say let u be equal to 1, or sorry, let u be equal to x minus 1. Let u be equal to x minus 1. So I'm going to have x minus 1. Let u be equal to x minus 1. Then I'm going to find du dx, and this du dx will simply be equal to 1. Du dx is simply equal to 1. So when I cross multiply there, du will simply be equal to what? Dx. And this one I'll make it as my equation 1. After I do that, the next thing that I have to do is, since u was equal to that, so that simply means that my normal equation is 1 over 2, and then open bracket, I'll say 1 over u squared dx. Okay, now this dx and there is a u, they can't cooperate, they can't work together. Okay, since they can't work together, I'll use equation 1, which has given me a dx. I'll use it to replace there, since du is equal to dx. So this simply means that half integral 1 over u squared du. Okay, 1 integral that guy there. So once I have that information, that data, which is 1 over 2, the integral of 1 over u squared du, I can simply integrate that guy down there. So that one down there is simply equal to that integral. So that one is the same as u negative 2. Since you know that 1 over x is the same as x to the power negative 1, so we are going to use this principle to come up with that du. So from there, we can simply make this one 1 over 2, and then that one will be dot u negative 2 plus 1, and then down there it will be negative 2 plus 1, right? So from here, this will simply give you negative 1 over 2 u to the power negative 1, u to the power negative 1. That's what we have there. So from here, this will simply be the same as negative 1 over 2, then you have dot 1 over u. Okay, 1 over u, since it's c to the power 1. So since we have that information, we can simply now replace u with what we had. So it's going to be negative half dot negative half dot 1 over u was x minus 1, x minus 1. So this is the what? This is the integration of that particular point. So therefore, you're going to say, therefore, the integration of 1 over x minus 1 squared x plus 1 dx is simply equal to, so the integration, I'll go back to what I made first. So it's going to be 1 over 4 in open bracket. I have the first one, which is x minus 1, x minus 1, and then I go up there, I'll get for this one, it is a minus, since there is a negative 1 over 2, and then dots, you know, this times that, automatically I can just make it 1 there. This will be x minus 1 close bracket, then I'm going to have plus the last one, which is 1 over 4 in x plus 2, 1 over 4, and then in x plus 1. So, and then you remember to put a c, because c is the constant there. So this can be concluded by saying 1 over 4, let me use a different color so that the answer can be unique a bit and be written properly. So this can be written as 1 over 4 in x minus 1 open close bracket, then negative 1, then 2x minus 1 close bracket, then plus 1 over 4 in then x plus 1 and then plus c. So this was the final answer. So there is a circulating document for the solutions. So there were 2 mistakes which were made. There were 2 mistakes which were made. The first mistake was actually no, SME was made a mistake here. So there is supposed to be a negative there. So for this part it was okay. Yeah, for this part it was okay, but a mistake was made on this is A. Okay, so I'll just put a negative there. I'll also put a negative. Please take note of the negatives. The mistake was made on the integration of this one. This is where a mistake was made, but this one need to have a negative there and this one has to have a negative. So A was a negative. Yeah, A was a negative on the partial fraction. Here, this one is supposed to have a negative and there also a negative. So a mistake was made just on, I'm sure it was typing error when putting a negative 1 over 2. They did not put 1 over 2 in front. Yeah, so that's it for now. If there is any question, you can contact me on those lines. You can WhatsApp me or you can ask right now.